coordination framework. Soon we will vote on amending the budget law. We already had the first 2 readings. This will solve the oil dispute between Baghdad and Erbil. We have seen major progress in the last couple of days. With the budget is a rate potential. Question: do you think the RE is the linchpin for the Middle East? Could Iraq be like Dubai? Frank 26, it will be Dubai on steroids, my friend. Dubai won't even be able to touch Iraq. Iraq achieved a noteworthy diplomatic accomplishment last September when it was formally elected chair of the Group 77. Held in the United Nations headquarters in New York. The G77 is the largest intergovernmental organization of developing countries in the United Nations, which provides the means to promote their collective economic interest and enhance their joint negotiating capacity on all major international economic issues within the United Nations system. So Iraq is going to go from not even having an international accepted currency to do all this? Really? I don't think so. The monetary reform education is extremely fast. They are now all the way to the point where they are past the basket and talking to the Iraqi citizens about the future of digitization in their country. Digitization of their currency mainly will help at the onset, because you cannot introduce too much currency at the start, not a cashless society at the onset, but given time Iraq will be. That is the goal. Question: Al-Sudani discusses with the British King establishing a productive partnership between Baghdad and London. Quote, Al-Sudani met today, Tuesday, with the King of the United Kingdom, Charles III, at Buckingham Palace in the British capital, London. During the meeting, bilateral cooperation between Iraq and the United Kingdom was reviewed, as well as ways to establish a productive partnership in various economic and development fields. There are 6 major projects happening in Iraq that will help to increase the country's GDP and economic status and hopefully the value of the currency. These are the news stories we will be watching closely in 2025. 1. The Development Road project involves constructing a 1,200 km network of railways and highways connecting the Grand 4 port in southern Iraq to the Turkish border in the north. 2. Grand 4 port aiming to become the largest port in the Middle East. 3. Total Energies energy projects. 4. Oil and gas exploration agreements. 5. National Development Plan launched in collaboration with the United Nations Development Programme, and supported by the United States Agency for International Development, USAID. 6. Housing and urban development projects. 0.15 New cities across the country. I strongly believe Sudani and the US Treasury are watching the black market rate, and they will consider one of 2 options. First option would be a basket. I don't think that would be the best route. It can go that way, but I don't know. What's the other option? Float. Yeah, I think floating would be a good idea. Iraq's missing funds. Dubai in the circle of accusation. Smuggling is still ongoing and Trump is coming. Quote, Dubai has become the largest point for smuggling Iraqi. I heard Pocket Options is showing the VND and Indonesian rupiah. Saw a screenshot, marks, we are seeing the popping up on different APS. IQD and IQD pairings with different crypto pairings. This is big. In order for Parliament to approve those budget schedules, the rate needs to change first. The fact that they did the second reading on only Article 12 of the budget, that's the same as having one tire on your car. It doesn't do Iraq any good. It's basically a pointless, useless step. For the budget to work for Iraq, all of the budget amendments need to be approved. If you're doubting your investment, hang in there, because what they're saying is truly something I've never seen in my 15 years of being here, and the evidence is not from me and it's not from anybody else on the internet, it's directly from an economist and the central bank. I think it's huge, guys. It's exciting times, the stage is set. The monetary reform policy has been going through some steps. It has been evolving the policy and they've been using many mechanisms to assure this. Now they're sitting in a position, Sidoni, the CBI and the US Treasury have been, very close. The 8th floor of the CBI building, that whole floor, belongs to the US Treasury. You think they're going to be there because they're going to keep the exchange rate at 1,310. He added that these correspondent banks can carry out the process of changing the Iraqi dinar to any global currency immediately, and for more than 1 million banks around the world. What did it just tell us? 1 million banks around the world. What does this mean to us as investors? We know that, conditions to get back to Forex, that this insurance part is a pillar of the financial reform. Therefore, it is a reform that needed to take place and is now taking place. Also, I want to add that the statement of changing the Iraqi dinar to any global currency immediately is an amazing statement. Could this news get any better at this time? Can this be what is holding up the revaluation and the reinstatement? MP Nazim al-Shabli, a member of the Oil and Gas Committee, revealed today, Wednesday, that the Kurdistan region does not want to hand over oil revenues to the federal government. Al-Shabli said in a statement to Al-Maluma Agency, the oil and gas law, which in turn limits oil smuggling in the region, is subject to political differences, noting that the importance of enacting the law is to control oil revenues after the procedures to stop the region's exports through the Ceyhan crossing and the intervention of international courts. He added, the region has no real desire to send oil imports, in addition to the continuation of oil smuggling operations. He pointed out that the enactment of the oil and gas law in turn limits oil smuggling and obliges the region to send oil revenues, and stressed the need to send the draft oil and gas law for discussion and approval in the House of Representatives. British oil company Shell announced today, Wednesday, its readiness to increase its investments in Iraq. A statement from the office of Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani received by Al-Maluma Agency stated that al-Sudani received today, Wednesday, at his residence in the capital, London, the CEO of Shell Oil Company, Wael Sawan. He added, during the meeting, the cooperation between Iraq and the company, which is one of the most important oil, gas and petrochemical companies in the world, was discussed, especially since the government announced many investment opportunities in these sectors. According to the statement, the company's CEO announced readiness to increase investments in Iraq, especially in the field of associated gas, in addition to investing in the free gas sector, for which the government has launched a licensing round to invest in several areas of Iraq.